Peep'n ToM here. Sorry there hasn't been many tutorials lately. I've been out of town at Burning Man and all these other crazy adventures. But I'm back now in the studio, get cracking on some serious workflow in September and months to come. Got some crazy shit coming out. Today I'm going to show you how to make this Melbourne bounce bass. I got mad requests to make this bass. It's super easy to make. The really key here is a sample of what the whole thing sounds like. So it's just this bass. Super simple. This is a song, Summertime Sadness. There was a bunch of, I really like the Deep House remix of it, but other than that, I thought the rest of the remix was kind of shitty. So right before, I made this tutorial before I went to Burning Man. I was going to release it, but then I rewatched it and I didn't take my ADD meds that day, and I was all over the fucking map. So much more focus today. So check out this song. I'm gonna put it up I'm just waiting for it to get mastered, and it'll be up for free download in like a week or so, or whatever it gets back. But I'm gonna put it up on SoundCloud. You can check the whole thing out. It sounds pretty legit. It's got lots of crazy shit. So it sounds pretty badass. Even if I take the leads out, it sounds unreal. So it sounds pretty badass. So all you have to do with these basses, here I'll show you quick, I'll show you that after. So with these basses, all I used was Anna. I like Anna. It's a really good one. It's the one from Sonic Academy. It's literally just the basic bass. And lots of people, I don't know why there's so many questions about this. How does Will Sparks get his bass? It's so crazy. Well, I mean, you gotta pick a really good bass to begin with, like a solid. It's gotta be like kind of like plucky, like either a plucky bass or one that goes like wow. And with the ones that go wow, you gotta start. You can't just start it where like the normal hi hat would be. You gotta go a little bit forward. So like, I don't know. I'll show you. So this is. So usually what Will Sparks and those guys do is they just have the basic bass on the right here. So just like on every offbeat basically. But I don't really I like mixing it up a bit and like throwing some other shit in there just to make it interesting. Sometimes I don't. Depends on the song. There's too much shit going on in the song. The only bass it can take is the one on the offbeat. But, so what I did there, you can find anyone. Another one I just found, here I'll make another MIDI track and I'll do it from scratch, is if you grab silence, plugins, silence. Alright, so it was, I think it was 2 or something. Where is it? Mini Moog. It was the Mini Moog one. Heavy Moog. Bass, maybe it was a 3. One? Moog bass, there we go. So this one is also legit. That's just like straight out of the synth. So if I just copy this over, this will probably sound badass as well. Super easy. So right now that sounds like shit, and it's because these things, if I fold them up, you have to get the right. So not only do you have to get like the kind of the right bass, the length of the note really comes into play here. So if you make this a little bit longer, obviously there's no compressor and shit on there, so you gotta work with that. So that's basically all you have to do. So figure out, here's one, here's the second bar, so the kick drum would be here and here. You gotta put it right in the middle at 1.1.3. And then if you want to change it up to like, I'll turn these leads up. If you want to change it up to like Melbourne bounce, which I just started making a song today that's, it's got some really crazy fucking shit in it. But or like that pitch bendy kind of stuff, but you can switch it up, so making it interesting. Instead of being all like bum 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 and then having to change up your leads all the time, you can change up the bass by just literally shifting it over to this, to where the end point goes there. So it's like Now, I was fucking around with this, and you definitely have to get, you definitely have to make sure that your leads, like, how they coincide with that. So you can't just throw this on and then keep... So the leads have to stay the same. Or the leads have to change, sorry. So you're gonna have to, if you're gonna work out some sort of pattern with that, you're gonna have to switch up the leads a little bit too. But that bass sounds pretty badass by itself. So I would recommend, just if you have like a 3 little phrases here. The first one, or usually just 4, like, so it makes it a minute long. So the first 2 are just regular on 4/4 time, and then this one you could switch it up. But if you're on your last one, you should bring it back to normal, because it's fucking a pain in the ass for DJs to mix into this fucking triplet grid shit going on. It just sounds like shit. You really have to be really quick with it, but yeah. So yeah, so there's that, and all I had, so this is the one I had. So what I do is, I have a fucking template, just use my template that I use on, it's in one of the videos or whatever, and it's just, if you go into the bass section, I have all this shit laid out. So all I did was cut off the lows, boosted the highs a little bit, because I want to just get some good high action in it, and threw a compressor on, just bring everything together, so... Because when it's like whoop, and then you just want to squish it down a little bit. Then I fab filter didn't even use, and then just threw a compressor on it, and that's basically it. Like, these basses are so easy to make. They take like such little time to like make, and that's why the leads are so important. So like, it's way more important to, it's get a good solid foundation. What I usually do, what I did with this track was, or with the track I started today, was mad crushed out the kick drum and all the drums, did that in about like 20 minutes, and then starting the bass. Once you get that bass down, then you can start messing around with rhythms for the lead. So yeah, again, this, boop, boop. Super easy. Do I have anything on the master bus here? No, nothing. I don't even have a sausage fattener on there. Like, it's just straight up the bass, because you want the bass to... It has to be, it's the bass part of the song. Like, it's more like it's not like electro, like super leads where like bam, 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 all that crazy shit's going on. It's like a more musical song where there's different components that have to work well together. So if you have these ones down in a certain frequency, like these ones, I cut off the lows, and then I put a sub bass underneath it, because you still want that boom, boom, boom. Because when you hear it at the club, it's not like boom, 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 boom. It's more like ba boom, ba boom, ba boom. Like, it's kind of like, if there was if the speakers are too powerful, all you'd hear is like a double kick drum action going on. I don't know if that makes any sense. So whatever, I always separate the sub from the bass bus, because I don't want them compressed together. And then I solo both of them, soloed, and then I listen, and then I usually cut the lows off right here, so that they are it's just pure sub bass. Let's see if you can hear that. Yeah, you can't hear that at all. Plus, and I have it dropped down pretty low to -14. And then you put on top here. Then I solo this one too. And then I just go off with cutoff filters. So like, that sounds like shit. There's no bass, and you just kind of do it till you find the sweet spot where you hear like you feel the bass and the high end mid shit going together, and they just sound tight together. That's basically all you have to do for Melbourne bounce bass. The real key is in the leads, and the leads are crazy. This one did some cool shit with the leads. Took the voice. Maybe I'll do a tutorial next week. People will probably be asking once they hear the song, because it's fucking badass to do a tutorial on these leads. I'll show you quickly what I did with them. This one I cut up her voice, and I got a sweet sample of her voice. And it's like, and then this one I did the same thing, but I like pitched them up and down, and then panned them left and right, and did some other shit. So it's like, oh wait, no, this one. Or sorry, it was this one. Yeah, so I cut her thing out, and then made this crazy fucking pattern with all these pitch bendy shit. Boo-boo. So that one's that, and then I made it even more complex over here. So that's pretty badass. So I have like that. So this song's so crazy. So I played it at Burning Man. It was fucking bananas. People went nuts. Yeah, so the first drop was like that, and then the second drop, same build up. So it all kind of comes together there and it sounded pretty badass. And then I thought it was still not interesting enough, but it's super interesting. And then I decided to put this crazy shit at the end. I love that style with the huge bass thing and then all this fucking crazy lead shit on top. It's real great. All right, I just got back from tour and I made a ridiculous 3-hour, it's like 2 hours and 15-minute mix of all my favorite tunes that I've been playing and all mixed really well and super dope. And it's on my podcast, but the podcast or the radio show was too short, so because I was making it and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep going and make this crazy mix even crazier. So I did that. And it's out, so just go to my Facebook page. You can download it. I'll probably leave a link in the description. Check it out. It's like 3 hours of sexy awesomeness. And then, yeah, hit me up if you got any other tutorials. Probably do another leady one next week. Maybe some, like, I don't know, hit me up. It'd be better to hit me up on email if I don't message you back on Facebook. I'm trying to catch up on emails. I haven't been on, like, the grid for so long, so I've just been swamped. So, yeah, see you next week. Peace, bitches. Oh,